Yeah, we can all fly there. Everyone can go. Then we'll have a big party at my place.
And then we could see Blitzball.
That's right.
Your Xanark and Abe's would play?
Yeah.
We could all watch you play, in a stadium all lit up at night. I'd cheer and cheer till I couldn't cheer anymore.
Yeah, right on.
Well, what about after the game?
We'd go out and have fun.
In the middle of the night?
Oh,
No problem.
heavens.
Xanark never sleeps.
Oh.
You...
I can't. I just can't. I can't go.
One of the things I love about that scene is it reminds me so much, you guys, of like final conversations that you have with loved ones. Some of you know that I worked as a hospice chaplain back when I was in grad school. And while I was doing that, you would just get in these conversations. Sometimes they're about death and they're about the inevitable. But sometimes the people would talk about what they would do, where they wanted to go with the rest of their lives. And they know that they're not long for this world, right? And so they'll say, oh man, when I get out of this place, I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to go to the mountains. I'm going to go to whatever, right? And they talk about who they're going to be with and like, oh, my husband and I, my kids and I are going to be hiking in trails and stuff. And Yuna kind of does this here. Like, she and Titus are talking about, they're talking about what Xanarkin's going to be like, and they're going to party all night long and stuff. And, like, the writers just captured that essence of denial and acceptance. And it's like we want to think about the life that we could have and we want to cherish it for this moment. And yet we know that the inevitable is coming. I think that's why this game resonates so well. This game feels very real and realistic and human. And that's the thing. In a fantasy series like Final Fantasy, for me, it's never been the icon battles or the summons, even though those things are cool, the gameplay mechanics. But it's the way that the characters in some ways tell the story. And not just any story, but they tell my story. They tell my story of love and loss and hope and resistance and rebellion. And I think that that is when Final Fantasy gets it the most right. It's when it's not the grand spectacle, but it's a very human story told in the most elegant, nuanced, and beautiful way. And of course, if you aim for that, if you aim for something that is the most elegant, nuanced, and beautiful thing, always trying to push it, you're going to miss the target every time. But here, I really think that they were trying to tell a very human story of what if someone that you loved was going to be lost. And what does that really mean? How do you commit? I love that line that Yuna says, where she says, after Titus asked, "Do you want me to still be your guardian?" And she says, "Please be with me until the end." And I love that he simply says, "No, not till the end, always." And I think that that's such a beautiful, again, human sort of sentiment. It's the stuff of wedding vows, you know, it's the stuff of deep commitment. I miss the days when video games weren't trying to outdo and outspend one another, but instead they were trying to tell stories that resonated with the human experience. I miss those days so badly because I feel like video games in some ways have turned a corner into almost like the Michael Bay era of video games. What's bigger, what's better, what's more graphically enhanced, and like we are getting very small returns on the graphical stuff now. We're arguing about, is the latest game 40 frames per second or 30. When we play games that resonate with our humanity again, well, it's digital mythologies at that point. There's stories that help us think more deeply about who we are and what we want to be, and our highest ideals and our greatest hopes and dreams. And that is lost, I think. And in some ways, you know that I am like #1 Square Enix fan. I love them with all my heart. But in some ways, I think that over the last decade, there has been a lot of losing their way. When my class talks about Final Fantasy 15, you guys, do you know the scenes that they talk about? They talk about Noctis and Prompto on the rooftop, having a normal conversation that many of them have had over the course of their lives. They talk about the pictures that they've taken in their lives and what that means to them, and which picture they would take into the final exam of their life, right? They don't always talk about the most grandiose battles. You know what they don't talk about ever? The Leviathan fight. And I love the Leviathan fight. It's a lot of fun, but they don't talk about it. They talk about Luna's parting words to Noctis, because there's something about those kind of guiding, romantic and mentoring words that really resonate with them. When I show them that cutscene of Luna imparting the ring to Noctis, they tell me stories about their parents' last words to them before they left them for college and dropped them off at college. And they tell me the story of how they developed responsibility in themselves. And I think that should be the goal. Tell human stories in a beautiful and elegant way. And it doesn't take a lot of money. I think that's where games like Expedition 33 are so potent and powerful. I think that Clair Obscur has in some ways rekindled what Final Fantasy X did. I don't know Yuna, but I've had many Yunas in my life, you know? I don't know Prompto. I have many Promptos in my life. My favorite games have always spoken to a deep sense and experience of humanity in me. I think that's why this scene really works for me.